housing prices are high, construction costs are high. How are you finding the deal so it makes sense for them?
If it's on the market, you have more people evaluating those deals. They're going to go fast. I have a huge network of off-market properties, wholesalers. Even if someone's not looking, I'll just blast it to every investor I know, and there goes the deal. Either the deal is good or it's not worth it. If they're flipping it, you get the deal back to relist it. They're buying and holding, so you get to rent it.
2025, bizarre year. It seems that a lot of people are just on the sidelines, just frozen, whether it be sellers or buyers.
People are still doing business. There is opportunity. You just have to really.
The Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today I have Lexi Matos from Realty One Group, focused Northeast. Lexi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. Okay, so I start off all shows by asking my guests, how did you get started in real estate? Tell me your story.
Sure. So it started about 12 years ago in property management. It was at that time that I realized that I could make a career out of real estate. And, then decided to get my license after 5 years and what was actually required for a new position that I had. And so since then, I just started to work for myself. Figured, I could go further as an entrepreneur.
Right. Now, so let me ask you this question because that was kind of interesting. So when you started, were you still doing leasing and also being like a solo agent, trying to sell properties as well? Or what did that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So actually, the company that I was started to work for, they owned their property. So in that sense, you didn't need a real estate license to actually work with them. But when I switched companies, that was a management company. And of course, we needed to be licensed in order to do property management. So it was required at that time. So I wasn't able to actually do sales separately because my license had to be hung with their broker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, once I realized that, I figured, let me just go and do it for myself instead of hanging my license with property management.
Now, let me ask you this question, because I spoke to many agents who started out, doing leases, that kind of thing. Now, did you have like a book of people who you got them into the lease and followed up with saying, hey, if you ever move out, I can help you, with that, or
I didn't. Okay. No. I mean, it's a little bit different when you have their book of clients and, then creating your own book. It was not really personal in leasing. So no, I started from scratch.
Okay. So your first year, what did that look like? So you started from scratch, you're a solo agent.
Yeah.
Were you successful immediately? Was it a grind? What did that look like?
It was definitely a grind. Okay. But I had confidence in, the industry and my capabilities of selling because I had experience already. It was a little bit similar, doing like market surveys, comps and stuff like that. So I had some knowledge of the industry before actually jumping in. So it made it a little bit more of a smooth transition. Right. But my first year, I believe I sold 12 houses.
Actually, that's a lot.
Yeah, 12 sales.
Yeah, because if you look at like national averages, and once again, real estate's local, I'll say that a million times, but I mean, you're looking at 4 transactions in the course of a year. So if you did 12 in your first year, that's far better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that was exciting. So I tried to focus on improving my years since I've been in real estate, and a part of that was chasing the 3%.
Okay.
Or the 6%. And that story there is a little bit part of why I became an owner.
Okay.
To focus on, my future. Because if we're not chasing the 3%, our business doesn't run, right?
Well, let me ask you this question. So you went from a solo agent. Did you ever work on a team, or did you have a team?
No.
Or you just went from solo agent to owning. There you go. So you're like on the high dive and you jumped right in.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all or nothing.
There you go. Okay, so you went in partners with somebody. Pedro, how you doing? So anyway, and you decided to open up your own brokerage, right? So what was the mindset? what led you, because you started saying, chasing that 3%, chasing commission.
Yeah.
So what were your what was the thought pattern?
So multiple incomes is it's a big thing that I talk about often. So it was a part of that, residual income and education. So that's the main thing. Well, Pedro and I both share a passion for educating people on real estate, agents, homeowners
Right.
in general, and creating generational wealth. So that was the main focus. So educating agents to essentially, follow in the same path.
Right. Okay. So, well, let me ask you this question. So how many agents do you have currently, at your brokerage?
Good question. So our office is the newest office out of 3. And right now, I believe we have 11 or 12. We had a few people just sign on.
Right.
But the overall brokerage, that is the affiliation of Focus, Realty One Group Focus. There's our Southampton office and our Fishtown office. So altogether, it's about 90
Right.
agents.
But your specific one in the Northeast,
Yeah,
you have about 11
we're
or
the
12,
newest. Yep.
depending if the person signed or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully, we get one in today.
Right. Okay. So you said you have a passion for education. So what does that look like? So when somebody comes on board, is there a training program? Is there a mentoring program? Like what does that look like?
So we have both. We have a training program that we have, and we have a mentorship. So newer agents will be automatically enrolled in the mentorship. And the trainings, they're weekly. We have Zoom and in-person training, and that is specifically designed, we have like an acceleration program and then a new agent program to really start your business like a business, the
Right.
structure of a business, not just going in and kind of winging it.
Right. Yeah, that's super important because if you look at the statistics, I think it's somewhere like 87% of agents in 5 years are out. They're no longer an agent. So the turnover is big. So without that structure, without that mentoring, guidance, it's a tough deal. I mean, everybody
Absolutely.
sees, $1 million listings and they think it's so glamorous, but it's a grind.
The realtor life it's a lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. But it's a lot of work to be
It
successful,
is.
with it. And yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, your primary focus when you're dealing with buyers and sellers, is it buyers? Is it sellers? Is it working with investors? What does that look like?
So I like to focus on investors, because I know how to evaluate a deal and kind of give my investors that knowledge if they're, newer. So I do work with a big bulk of my business is with investors.
Right.
But I'd like to focus on sellers.
Right.
And then home buyers. I hope. Yeah, I'm not chewed out for that, but.
Right. Well, let me ask you this question because I think it was Redfin just came out with a statistic that it's been like 10-year low that investors, entering the marketplace. And some of those reasons are housing prices are high, so things don't pencil out. Construction costs are high, so it doesn't pencil out, so on and so on and so on. So what are your investors telling you, or what are you seeing, or how are you finding the deal so it makes sense for them?
So, I have a huge network of like off-market properties and wholesalers that I'm involved with, and believe it or not, a lot of the deals that I close are either off market or through a wholesaler, so they're undervalued most of the time,
Right.
and that's what makes it a really good deal. So
Right.
that's kind of my end for my investors.
Now, do you have a reputation of being able to find deals? Is that where, people will call you, hey, Lexi, is there anything coming up on board? I need a project. I need something to do.
Yeah.
Do you see that or?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Okay.
Emails, I get a lot of investors reaching out.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, interesting. So now, obviously, what are they looking for? So when you're talking to an investor, I guess the seasoned professionals that have been at it for a while, they already know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if somebody says, hey, I want to get into it, how are you coaching? How are you advising? How do you say, hey, this works, this doesn't work? Tell me about that.
So, I mean, I kind of, it starts with a conversation, honestly, and to see where they are and what they're trying to accomplish. What I'm seeing now is a lot of investors are hoping to get into the Section 8, realm. So they strictly are focused on that because of the rent that Section 8 is paying. It's guaranteed, and they just did an increase for the payouts as well. So I think that people are kind of shifting towards that because it's, the stability of it. But besides that, a newer investor also, it's just all about numbers. It kind of just makes it really easy. It's either the deal is good or it's not worth it, in that sense. So I think that's a little bit, that's a reason why I like working with investors.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Are the properties all different conditions or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So some obviously are more on the shell side or major fix up, and then other ones are ready to go. It's just a mixed bag as
It
far
is,
as that?
yeah, it really is. Most of the time they're kind of, guts, full gut rehabs or conversions, like RM1 conversions to duplexes. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right. Okay.
Rehabs. I mean, it's hard to find a property that just needs light work,
Right. Because
at a good deal.
At a good deal. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. If not, they would just put it on the market.
Exactly.
And it would have in the listing tender loving care. So you already know it needs work.
Yeah, TLC.
Right. Okay, so a nice bulk of your business is working with investors, so you do probably a lot of transactions because an investor may buy 10 properties a year or may buy a bundle if somebody's offering 5 houses, 10 houses, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, they're definitely your reoccurring client. So that's the best part of it. If they're listing it, if they're flipping it, you get the deal back to relist it once the renovation is done. Or you get to rent it if they're buying and holding. So there's definitely more transactions going on.
So let me ask you this question. So when did you realize if I could find a deal that will really accelerate my business? Because think about it. If you're able to find a deal, then I can work with any flipper or any investor because you're bringing the deal to them. Right. So how in the process, when did you connect the dots with that, or just you knew it from day one?
Yeah, I kind of knew it from day one. When I do find a deal, even if someone's not looking, I'll just blast it to every investor I know, and there goes the deal.
So now, how do you find a deal? Will wholesalers come to you? Is that primarily, or like I had one agent turn around and said, "Hey, I turn around and I look in the MLS, and depending on what the zoning is, the current zoning of that property isn't the maximum use that it could be." And then I turn around and say, "You know what? If you put a third floor on that, now it's worth $150,000 more, but it's only $50,000 to put that third floor." To have that kind of insight, or hey, this could be turned into a duplex. It could be more,
Absolutely.
So are you finding anything like that, or is it a combination of all of the above?
I mean, I think that you have more, if it's on the market, you have more people evaluating those deals as well. This is zoned. You can definitely maximize and convert. So you don't see them as all, I mean, if they're on the market, they're going to go fast, right? So I do have that wholesale. I have many wholesaler contacts that will just reach out to me, and that's how it just
But I will tell you this: a regular agent isn't going to look at the MLS and look at the zoning and figure out saying, hey, the best use would be a duplex, and this zoning allows for a duplex. All we have to do is get like a variance or what have you. So trust me,
not everybody knows that.
Right. There's a ton of agents. Like when I say a ton, like 90% of agents could look at something and have no idea what the hell they're looking at. They're just looking at what's there in front of them.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's 100%.
Yeah. It comes with this experience.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Without question. Okay. So another question I have for you. This market, 2025, bizarre year. I tell everybody, bizarre year. It seems that a lot of people are just on the sidelines, just frozen, whether it be sellers or buyers. I think there's just many combination of many things that people are on that sideline trying to figure out what to do. So what are you seeing? Are you seeing the same type of thing? What are people telling you? Or
Well, buyers are slowing down, and listings are sitting. So I'm seeing lots of price drops, and I'm feeling, the burn also
Right.
in business, like
especially
everybody
if you have
else.
investors, right?
Right,
Investors want to,
exactly. But yeah, it's a very awkward year in a sense.
Yes.
But I mean, I do feel it kind of picking up. So it was slowed down in the summertime
right.
drastically. But there is other opportunity. You just got to really make the opportunity and find the business. Honestly, people are still doing business out there.
And the crazy thing is, right now, and we're in the beginning of September, interest rates are at the lowest they've been all year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're hovering, depending on a low program, in the high fives to low sixes. Once again, credit scores, loan amount, what kind of program, all those factors come into play. But heck, you could be in the fives easily.
Yeah,
you could be in the low sixes easily. So, from where we were at, in the beginning of the year or in the beginning of the spring where you were above 7%, that's not there. So I think a lot of it is to let people know, because affordability is an issue. And if interest rates can come down and if appreciation stays flat, then affordability becomes a little bit easier, which is always an issue, affordability. If hey, I want a $250,000 house, but my checkbook says 200,000, you got a problem, right? So yeah, I mean that's something out there. Okay, so anything else what you're seeing with buyers or sellers, other than people are just in a holding pattern right now?
Well, I mean, I think it's important that when you're listing the house, you have to really tell the sellers on the seller part. You have to adjust with the market, right? And sellers need to understand that we don't make the price, the market dictates the price. So I think it's evaluating that and making sure you have that conversation with your sellers so that you're pricing these properties accordingly, according to the market. The market is, we go by like 3 months at a time because it's ever shifting.
Right.
And buyers, a lot of buyers I'm seeing right now they want to wait until February, March. I'm like, oh, that's a tough market there.
Right.
Right now is the best time to buy. Prices are lowering. Interest rates are lowering. It's a win-win.
Right. Yeah, and there's a statistic that NAR came out with. Every 1% interest rates go down, 5 million more buyers nationwide can get into the market because now they can afford. So if rates continue drifting down, and you go into the spring market, which is the busiest time of the year anyway, now you're just going to be competing with so many more people. You're absolutely right. And I think, I don't know if it was Realtor.com or Zillow, every year they come out, October, the best year to buy the house because that's when the prices are the lowest and, less competition, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So great. Okay, so if somebody's looking to buy, sell, because you'll work with buyers, you work with sellers, and you work with investors, how would they get a hold of you?
So I'm very active on social media. You can follow me on Lexi Matos Realtor on Instagram and Close with Lexi on Facebook. My information is public there.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being on the show. I was didn't know the show was going to go in the direction it did, especially talking with investors. I knew you worked with investors, but that's super fascinating, and it's a little bit different than a normal agent. So thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
So that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Instagram, and of course YouTube, the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Leave a comment. Tell me some show topics you'd like to cover in the future, and the comments are super important and really helps the algorithm out for me. I'm heading to 40,000 subscribers. So help me get over the top with the 40,000 subscribers. Lexi guaranteed me that I'm going to get another 20,000 subscribers, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So by this time next week, we'll be at 67,000 subscribers or something like that, right? So once again, thanks for watching the show. Remember, this show is everything real estate, no limits. Thanks for watching the show, and I'll see you next week.